My girlfriend lost a game of truth or dare and had to kiss a guy. Before our lips could even touch, Leo Vance shoved me aside and kissed her himself. Lo, stop. It's my fiancée's birthday, for God's sake, Chloe said, pretending to be angry as she tapped his chest lightly. Everyone stared at me, sprawled on the couch where he had pushed me, too stunned to breathe. Leo just grinned, completely unconcerned. Come on, men. Don't get bent out of shape. We're all friends here. It was just a dare, Chloe chimed in, trying to smooth things over. It was just a game, Ethan. Don't be a poor sport. Everyone in the room expected me to explode. Instead, I just took off my engagement ring, walked over to her childhood friend, and gently slipped it onto his finger. Send me an invite to the wedding. You taste sweet, Chloe. What have you been eating? Leo teased, his voice low and suggestive. Chloe, who had been pouting playfully at him, suddenly noticed the silence. Her eyes landed on me, still sitting on the couch. She pushed away from Leo, pretending to be annoyed, and gave his chest a soft thump. Hey, it's Ethan's birthday today. Leo laughed it off. What? We're all adults here. He's not going to be that sensitive, is he? It was just a dare. His words hung in the air and no one moved. This wasn't a silly penalty like a forehead flick. It was a kiss. People cringed, waiting for me to blow up, the way I usually did whenever Leo was involved. But instead, I quietly removed the engagement ring from my finger. I walked over to Leo and slid it onto his hand. It fit perfectly. I smiled. Let me know when you set a date. The entire room went silent, even Leo. Ethan, it was just a game. Are you serious right now? Chloe's voice was cold. I know, I said with a light laugh. Just trying to help you guys have more fun. Chloe's face went pale. Leo put an arm around her and stroked her hair. Look at him, my bit. I didn't think he'd be such a sore loser about it. He yanked the ring off and tossed it at me. Here, take it back. Don't be mad. It didn't mean anything. The ring bounced off my cheek before clattering to the floor. Everyone stared, wide-eyed, but I just bent down, picked it up, and said calmly, well, if you don't want it, I guess it's useless. And with that, I dropped it into the nearby trash can. Ethan, are you crazy? That was your engagement ring. Someone shouted. A few friends scrambled to dig through the bin, which was already overflowing with watermelon rinds, banana peels, and even someone's vomit. It was impossible to find the ring in that mess. Leo looked stunned. Chloe, why is he reacting like this? Did I really go too far? But you and I have always been like this. Chloe grabbed his hand and pulled him closer. Everybody, stop looking. They froze, huddled around the trash can. Her eyes were like ice drilling into me. If you can't handle the game, why did you play? Now you've made everyone miserable. Are you happy now? Her words knocked the breath out of me. Leo kissed my fiancée, yet somehow, by not exploding, I was the one ruining the night. The old me would have screamed, cursed, maybe even hit Leo. But now, I couldn't summon the strength. I just turned toward the door. In that case, I'll leave. You guys have fun? As the door clicked shut behind me, I heard someone whisper nervously, isn't it Ethan's birthday? Should we really let him leave like that? Chloe's voice snapped, sharp and cold. Just leave him alone. He needs to get over that temper of his. It's about time someone taught him a lesson. Anyway, Leo was just hired as a lecturer at my university. He can blow out the candles. The room quickly filled with noise again. The chorus of happy birthday, Ethan, was replaced with, congratulations on the new job, Leo. Something wet trickled down my cheek. I wiped it away, surprised to realize I was crying. But I didn't feel sad-eye. Didn't feel anything at all. Growing up in the university housing neighborhood, I had always looked up to Chloe, the brilliant girl next door. I was too awkward to fit in with her and Leo, so I just watched from my window as they played outside, my chest tight with envy. I studied like crazy, and the rare times our names appeared next to each other on the school rankings were the highlights of my year. But I never had Leo's charm to Chloe. I was just a polite stranger. That changed when we both got into the same top university. Leo went off to a state school, got a girlfriend, and I finally worked up the courage to ask Chloe out. For once, luck was on my side. She said yes. From that day forward, every decision I made revolved around her. When she decided to stay at our alma mater to teach, I turned down a prestigious research fellowship abroad. My advisor tried to convince me, telling me about former students earning 6 figures, securing endowed chairs, becoming young tenured professors. I just smiled and said quietly, all I want is a stable, quiet life with her. I gave her everything. All I asked for was her in return, but she never seemed to consider my feelings. Standing in the cold night air, I let out a long breath and called my old PhD advisor, Professor Miller. About that project you mentioned before, are you still looking for people? He was quiet for a moment, then his voice boomed through the phone. Ethan, you finally came to your senses. Of course, we still need people. That project was made for you. Your junior Maya has been begging me to let her on, but I saved the spot. When are you thinking of coming? I'll pick you up at the airport myself. I smiled. Give me 2 weeks, Professor. I just have to wrap a few things up here. Even though I wasn't leaving right away, I threw myself into the project details. Ireland was in a different time zone, so by the time we hung up, it was already dark there. Here, it was past midnight. My head spun. I ran a hot bath and sank into it, letting the tension melt away. With soft music playing, exhaustion washed over me and I drifted off. I woke to the sound of the front door opening. Ethan. Chloe's voice. She moved from room to room, getting sharper. Finally, the bathroom door pushed open. Ethan. Her gaze was heavy, almost accusatory. I wasn't sure what she was angry about. Maybe because I wasn't waiting in the living room like usual, ready to start another fight about her and Leo. You're back. Sorry, I must have fallen asleep. I didn't hear you. I held the edge of the tub and turned my head. Could you please give me some space? My tone was polite but distant. She frowned, pinching the bridge of her nose, clearly exhausted. The reason I'm so late is because Leo got wasted. His ex has been harassing him again, and I know. You were playing the part of his girlfriend for him. She froze. I gave a small smile. You're not mad? I laughed softly. What's there to be mad about? You two grew up together. What's the big deal about pretending to be a couple to help him out? For a moment, Chloe just stared at me in disbelief. I waited, but she said nothing. I finally stood, reached for a towel, and wrapped it around my waist. We'd lived together long enough that modesty wasn't an issue, but for the first time, I felt self-conscious. I turned to leave. She grabbed my wrist. Ethan, if you have something to say, just say it. I paused. What do you want me to say? She hesitated. You usually have a lot to say. I thought about it. She was right. In the past, every argument about Leo ended with me refusing to let it go, pushing, demanding. But that only happens when your heart is still full of love. Now, I felt nothing, and I had nothing left to say. I gently pulled my arm free. Don't be dramatic. It's after 2 in the morning, and I've got experiments to run tomorrow. I yawned. You should get some sleep too. I'm going to bed. Good night. I lay down and closed my eyes. For a moment, there was silence. Then slam. The door shook with the force of her exit. I knew why she was angry. For once she had reached out, and I refused to take her hand. Still, I slept better than I had in months. The next morning, yawning and about to order breakfast on my phone, I stepped into the kitchen and froze. A birthday cake sat on the table. Chloe was behind it. Happy belated birthday, Ethan. I stopped in my tracks, my phone still open to the payment screen. I know you were upset last night, and we couldn't find the ring. Since I was the one who lost it, let me buy the new one. She pushed her phone across the table. The Cartier website glowed men's rings. Consider this my apology. Leo's just immature. You shouldn't take him so seriously. Kissing might mean a lot to us, but to him it's always been reckless and casual. Wow, you got me a custom cake. Thank you. My sudden interruption caught her off guard. She stared at me. Ethan, I leaned closer, reading the frosting. Wishing my love, happiness, and joy. That's really sweet. Thanks, I love it. She frowned. Ethan, I was already getting plates and a knife. What? She looked down. Nothing. I smiled genuinely. This bakery has the best cream cheese frosting in the city. I can never get an order in. You really went out of your way. Ma'am. Her voice was distant, her mind elsewhere. Ethan, about the ring here, I said, cutting a smaller slice and sliding it in front of her. You should finish this piece. Don't let it go to waste. I took a larger slice for myself and bit in. Is this a new flavor? It's really good. She frowned deeper. Could you at least look at what I'm showing you? I glanced at the phone. Cartier's ring section. My hand trembled slightly. If she had shown me this one day earlier, I would have been over the moon. But now, I just took another bite of cake. No thanks. It's all just marketing hype. Too much trouble, Ethan. Her voice cracked with disbelief. Seriously, I don't care about that stuff anymore. Don't waste your money. This cake is more than enough. I finished my slice, placed the plate down, and stood. I have a meeting this morning, so I've got to head out early. Don't forget to load the dishwasher. I turned toward the bedroom to change. Scraped the chair pushed back. I looked over my shoulder. Chloe grabbed her phone and muttered, Fine, I'll order one for Leo. He actually appreciates things like this. She stormed out, slamming the door behind her, leaving her slice of cake untouched. I didn't see her at the university for the next few days. That's gorgeous. The cut on that is the most intricate I've ever seen. And a girl bought it for you, Leo? A woman who buys you Cartier is a keeper, man. You should lock that down. When I walked into the faculty office, a group of colleagues was crowded around Leo, joking with him. On his finger was a classic Cartier love ring. Someone once said the design symbolized a love that lasts until death. Haha, it's just a gift from a friend. Don't go spreading rumors, Leo laughed, though his eyes kept flicking toward Chloe, who sat quietly at her desk. When he noticed me, his eyes widened in mock surprise. Oh, hey, Dr. Hayes. When did you get here? Chloe didn't give me this ring, so please don't get the wrong idea. The second I walked in, he'd already locked eyes with me. Then, pretending he hadn't, he raised his hand with the ring and laughed along with everyone else. The birthday party incident was still fresh in everyone's minds, and all eyes immediately shifted to me. Chloe shot me a quick glance. I walked over to Leo and grabbed the wrist of the hand wearing the ring. It's nice. Your girlfriend has good taste. Leo froze. Chloe, in the middle of sipping water, stopped mid-drink. Our colleagues exchanged puzzled looks until someone laughed. Dr. Hayes has high standards. If he says it's nice, it must be. Leo, this girlfriend of yours is a real catch. Someone tried to shush him, but he whispered back, What are you worried about? If Dr. Davis had bought it, Dr. Hayes would have lost his mind by now. Leo must have a new girlfriend. Why else would he be this calm? A realization swept through the group. When did you get a girlfriend, Leo? You kept that quiet. He's already wearing the ring. When's the wedding? Must be someone with money, right? That ring isn't cheap. Let me see it again. The design really is beautiful. Amid the praise, Leo smirked and looked at me. I don't know how my girlfriend picked it. I just mentioned I liked it and she bought it for me. I never expected take it off. The interruption was sharp. Leo blinked, taken aback, then turned to Chloe. Chloe. Chloe stood, holding a lesson plan for her undergrad class. I can't believe you're parading that tacky thing around every office. How embarrassing for you. Leo looked hurt. Chloe. She ignored him, instead giving me a long, meaningful look. And Dr. Hayes, you might want to get your eyes checked. With that, she strode out of the room. I had no idea what I had done to upset her. I complimented the ring she bought, so why was she angry? After my class, I got a text from Chloe. Let's get dinner tonight. It seemed she finally realized something was wrong. That was fine. I had a few things to say too. Okay, I'll head over after I finish my experiment. I pushed to wrap up lab work by 7 o'clock, but when I tried to leave, the lab door wouldn't open. It was locked. Normally, doors weren't locked until after the 11 o'clock safety check. It wasn't even 7 yet. My phone was in my locker outside. I had no way to call anyone. The lab was on the 8th floor. Jumping wasn't an option. Luckily, someone passed by. I banged on the door frantically. The soundproofing was strong, so it took effort to get their attention. When I saw who it was, my stomach dropped. Maya Chen, my junior colleague, the one who had desperately wanted the Ireland research spot Professor Miller gave to me. She hadn't exactly been a fan of mine lately. I mouthed my situation through the small window. She shook her head and walked away. My heart sank. Did Chloe know I was stuck in here? I scanned the room for something to break the lock, but every piece of equipment was expensive. I couldn't bring myself to damage anything. Defeated, I slumped against the door and sat down. Click. The lock turned. I jumped up. Maya leaned against the frame, dangling a key. The professor with the master key, Dr. Vance, already left. I had to go to another department and fill out forms to get a spare. Took a while. You're not too traumatized, are you? I froze. Dr. Vance. Leo Vance. Maya twirled the key and scoffed. Who else? Thank you. I am in a hurry now, but I'll buy you dinner later about the Ireland spot. If you're going to apologize, save it. She turned away, waving a hand. I'll surpass you one day, senior. By the time I got out, it was already 7:30. I rushed to the restaurant. In my haste, I tripped on the stairs and scraped my knee badly. A waiter helped me to our table, but a couple I didn't recognize was already sitting there. Excuse me, sir? Are you sure this is your table? This couple reserved it some time ago, the waiter said. I stood frozen, confused. My phone buzzed with a notification. I opened it. It was a new post from Leo. Thanks for the epic birthday surprise, babe. I'm not mad anymore. The photo showed a massive 5-tiered cake. Leo front and center, surrounded by friends setting off party poppers and confetti. His arm was around someone whose face was covered with a cat sticker. But I knew who it was. Chloe. I glanced at the date on my phone. Of course. It was Leo's birthday, sir. Would you like to reserve a table now? The waiter asked. My knee throbbed. I shook my head. No, thank you. Could you tell me where the nearest urgent care is? I didn't call Chloe. I had ripped a nasty chunk of skin off my knee, and the waiting room was packed. By the time I was cleaned, stitched, and bandaged, it was already late. It was after midnight when I finally got home. I opened the door to a pitch-black apartment and nearly jumped when I saw a figure sitting in the living room. My heart pounded as I flipped on the light. Chloe, why are you sitting in the dark? She looked up, eyes bloodshot. Ethan, it's almost 3 a.m. Yeah, I had work late. She paused, her voice cautious. Last night, you didn't make it to our dinner. I know. It's fine. I took off my jacket. You were mad at him, so of course you had to make it up to him. His birthday was the perfect chance. Wow. She grabbed my hand, still sitting as she looked up at me. His party isn't even over yet, you know? I frowned. I came home early. Her grip on my hand tightened. I was waiting for you to call me. I froze, then pulled my hand back, but she clung harder, making it a struggle. It's fine. I trust you too. As I changed my shoes and got ready for bed, I noticed her expression flicker. You're not angry? My voice was flat. No, Ethan. Her voice trembled, or maybe I imagined it. Chloe, can we talk tomorrow? Please. I forced a tired smile. I'm exhausted. Tomorrow we can talk as long as you want. I went into the bedroom. She never followed, not even before I fell asleep. But this time, I didn't hear the front door slam. When I woke the next morning, she was gone. She wasn't in her office either. She'd gone early to supervise a lab session. That afternoon, I started typing a text. Is Leo busy tonight? We should get dinner. I have something to tell you, before I could hit send. The office door slammed open. Ethan Hayes, where the hell did you hide my fountain pen? Leo grabbed me by the collar, nearly yanking me out of my chair. Colleagues rushed over. Dr. Vance, calm down. His eyes were bloodshot. I'm sorry, but that pen was a gift from my grandfather. It means everything to me. If you wanted to look at it, fine, but please, just tell me where it is." I was stunned. His grandfather had been a legendary physicist, a giant in the field. Before he passed, he'd given Leo a single fountain pen, hoping he'd carry on his work. Why would I steal that? "I left it in the lab yesterday." "You were the only one in there after me?" Leo's voice cracked. "Dr. Hayes, I swear I'll never talk to Chloe again if you just give me back what's mine." He dropped to his knees, jaw tight, tears spilling. Everyone's eyes turned on me. They all knew how often Chloe and I fought about Leo. "Dr. Davis, maybe you should say something," someone murmured. I glanced at the door. Chloe was standing there. "Ethan, just give it back to him," she said softly. "If you want it that badly, I'll buy you a new one." She held out her phone. "You know my password. Pick anything you want, it doesn't have to be a pen." I looked at her phone, then back at her, and laughed bitterly. "What's that supposed to mean?" She avoided my eyes. "That pen is important to him. I'm not blaming you. I know I've put you through a lot. It's understandable you'd act out." A helpless smile touched my lips. "But you know me better than that. You know what kind of man I am?" She stayed silent. Leo sobbed quietly, glancing at me through tears. Murmurs of sympathy. "A man doesn't cry like that unless he's broken." That pen was his grandfather's last gift. Then a sharp voice cut through. "What are you crying for? You're the one who locked my senior in the lab, and now you're blaming him for losing your pen? You couldn't even put it in your locker." Leo froze, his tears stopping cold. I turned. Maya Chen stood there, holding an iced Americano. "Miss Chen, what are you talking about?" Someone asked. A USB drive clattered onto the desk. "Security footage. A friend and Knight recovered it. Watch how Dr. Vance waits for Dr. Hayes to enter the lab, then locks the door." Leo snatched the drive instantly. "Maya, there's no need for this." Maya smirked and grabbed it back, plugging it into a computer. But the files only showed old data and lesson plans. "You tricked me, Leo," gasped. Her smile was ice. "Then why are you scared if you didn't do it?" "Chloe," Leo pleaded desperately. But Chloe, who usually defended him, only frowned. Panic twisted across his face before he bolted from the room. Only then did Chloe's eyes meet mine. "Ethan." I smiled gently. "Don't say it. I get it, he's your childhood friend. It's hard to believe he'd try to frame me. I don't blame you." She looked at me, speechless. "Let's have dinner tonight, Professor Davis," I said warmly. "Unless you already have plans with Dr. Vance." "No." Her voice was firm. I blinked, then smiled again. "Great, 7 tonight. I'll make a reservation. Can we eat at home?" she asked, eyes steady. "Sure, I'll grab groceries." "No, I'll take care of it." That evening, the moment I stepped inside, an arm looped around mine. "Oh my, look at you. Ethan, you've grown into such a handsome young man. Honey, come here." I froze. Chloe's parents were standing in the living room, smiling brightly. I turned to Chloe. She slipped into my arms and said softly, "I thought it was time we told them." They were going to find out about our engagement sooner or later. As if on cue, her parents beamed. "So when's the wedding? Back home or here? Or maybe to ceremonies?" The words I had planned to say disappeared under their overwhelming enthusiasm. I looked at Chloe. She was smiling warmly as she held out a red velvet ring box. Inside was another engagement ring, a different brand, designed exactly in the style I had always loved. She had even gone as far as having one custom made for me. Instinctively, I pulled my hand behind my back. Her parents' smiles faltered as they looked from her to me. "What's wrong? Didn't you two talk about this?" The joy in their eyes faded, replaced by confusion and concern. I could walk away from Chloe, but her family was different. They had been neighbors with mine for decades. Mr. and Mrs. Davis had always been kind to me. And once Chloe and I started dating, they had spoiled me endlessly. The Patek Philippe watch sitting in my drawer was a gift from them. "No, it's not that," I said quickly. "I just haven't washed my hands. I just got out of the lab." "Oh, don't be silly." "That doesn't matter." Mrs. Davis's smile returned as she affectionately took my hand. Chloe's eyes curved with a smile as she gently took my hand from her mother's and slid the new ring onto my finger. She was already wearing the matching women's band. Her parents pressed 2 thick red envelopes into my hand. I smiled. "Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Davis." They exchanged a look. "Still calling us Mr. and Mrs. Davis? Isn't it time for a change?" I lowered my head and smiled. "Thank you, Mom and Dad." For just a moment, I thought I saw Chloe let out a quiet sigh of relief. Her father laughed with joy. "I have to call your father. His boy has been stolen by my daughter." "Oh, stop it. You're being ridiculous," Mrs. Davis scolded lightly. No. Though her eyes sparkled with laughter, the next day, Chloe and I drove her parents to the airport. As their plane took off, I spoke quietly. "Chloe, I'm leaving too." She nodded. "Back to campus. I'll drive you." I stepped aside, avoiding her touch. "No, I'm leaving the country. I'm going to Ireland." Her hand froze midair. "Professor Miller has a project, and he needs me there." It took her a moment to process. "You? When did this happen? Why didn't I know?" "I decided on my birthday." In that instant, I think she finally understood. Her fists clenched at her sides, her voice trembling. "Was it after you left the party?" I nodded quietly. Her hands shook as she took a deep, shuddering breath. "When are you coming back? 2 or 3 years?" "Probably. 2 or 3 years?" She repeated, her head bowed. That's not so long. I can wait for you. And if you like Ireland, maybe I could." "Chloe, what I'm trying to say is, we're breaking up." The wind whipped my hair across my face as we stood only 3 feet apart. I could feel the tremor in her breath, but we just got engaged in front of my parents. I know. My smile was gentle. I pulled a key from my bag, took her hand, and placed it in her palm. "This is for the apartment. When you get back, check under the shoe rack." I left the envelopes your parents gave me there. The engagement ring too. Just because I'm not accepting them doesn't mean I blame you. It just means the part of our lives as a couple is over. I've taken what I could of my things. The rest you can keep or throw away. Whatever you want. I'm not coming back. Goodbye. Chloe, I hope you make full professor soon. I patted the back of her hand and walked away. I didn't go back to the apartment. I checked into a hotel for my last 3 days in the country and finished handing off my work at the university and my final stop in the administration office. I learned something new. Chloe had also applied for the research project in Ireland. With her credentials, she was already on track for a professorship. She didn't need to go abroad to pad her resume. In fact, leaving might mean there wouldn't be a tenure spot waiting for her when she returned. Why was she doing this? Dr. Hayes. A folder appeared over my shoulder, handed to the administrator. I turned. Chloe offered me a small smile. "Looks like we'll be colleagues abroad. I'll be counting on you." The young administrator looked between us, eyes wide with romantic fantasy. "Professor Davis is following Dr. Hayes overseas." "That's so romantic. I'm afraid I won't be of much help to Professor Davis," I said evenly. Chloe flinched. "Our research fields are completely different. Once we're in Ireland, we should each stick to our own work." The administrator hesitated. "Dr. Hayes, are you two? We broke up." I smiled faintly. The girl's jaw dropped. I looked at Chloe, but I still wish Professor Davis the best of luck with her research in Ireland. I turned to leave. Her voice was strained, hiding a sob beneath it. "You really don't care at all anymore, do you?" I gently pried her hand off. "Chloe, stop it. We're at the university." Her voice suddenly rose. "Ethan, what happened to you? Where's the guy who used to be so possessive of me?" I paused. Back then, I had wanted to attach a GPS tracker to her. If she was late, I would interrogate her. She had lashed out more than one time. "Your girlfriend, not your property. Why do you have to control everything? You're just suspicious of me and Leo. If I wanted him, do you think you'd ever have had a chance?" I sighed and looked her in the eye. "Chloe, you hated it when I controlled you. Now that I've stopped, what more do you want?" For the first time, her eyes shimmered with tears. Just then, a figure burst into the room. "Chloe, you can't go to Ireland?" Leo rushed in, his eyes red, and threw his arms around her. "You can't go. What will I do if you leave? You promised you'd never leave me." The administrator gaped at the scene. Stunned Chloe, usually so careful about appearances, now stood in tears looking at me. "Ethan, do you want me to go or not?" How strange. The same woman who once shouted, "I make my own decisions. Stop trying to control me," was now asking me for permission? I was taken aback, then smiled. "That's your decision, Professor Davis. Go if you want to. Don't if you don't. It depends on what you're looking for. Whatever you choose, I hope you can live with it." I turned and walked away. Behind me came her shout. "Ethan Hayes." I walked faster. Her voice faded. I heard her snap at Leo in frustration. "Let go of me. You're infuriating." Chloe didn't contact me again before I left the country. But her Instagram, usually silent, suddenly became active every day. A graduation photo captioned with how much she missed the old days. A close-up of our hands, engagement rings gleaming. Finally, a simple story. "I miss you, Ethan Hayes." It was visible only to me. I swiped past it and left a comment on Maya's latest experiment results. Impressive. And so it went until the day before my flight. When a frantic call came, "Dr. Hayes, you have to get to the hospital. Professor Davis was in a lab explosion. She refuses all treatment until she sees you." I froze. Chloe was famously meticulous. She once scolded a student for placing a cylinder in the wrong rack. How could she have had such a major accident? When I arrived, Chloe was blindfolded with bandages, hands reaching. "Where's Ethan? I need him. Don't touch me." Leo was beside her, tears streaming. "Chloe, Ethan's not here. Please, let me take care of you. The doctor says the light damaged your eyes. You need treatment. Please, stop asking for him." The moment his hand touched her, she shoved him away violently. "Get out. Get out. Ethan doesn't like seeing you near me. He'll get the wrong idea. You can't be here. Go." "Chloe," his voice broke. I stepped into the doorway. "Chloe." She stilled instantly. "Ethan." She swung her legs off the bed, nearly falling. Leo tried to steady her, but she shoved him away, following the sound of my voice until her hands found my face. The bandages grew dark with tears. "It's you. You came. Don't go, Ethan. I was wrong. Please don't leave me." She clung to me, trembling, the doctor warned. "Shouldn't be crying." Chloe bit her lip, choking back sobs, clutching my hand like a child. I gently removed her grip. "My flight leaves in an hour. You wanted to see me, and I came. Now, please let them treat you." Her breathing hitched, tears soaking through the gauze. "Doctor, what's happening?" "You need to leave now. The patient can't cry." They pushed me back as her voice grew louder. "No, don't let him leave. You can't let him go, Ethan." I said nothing. Leo stepped in front of me, but Chloe shoved him hard. He stumbled back, cracked his head against a ceramic planter, and blood pooled on the floor. I walked toward the exit step by step. Outside, the sky was a brilliant, cloudless blue. It was time for a new journey, Senior. If we don't hurry, we'll miss our flight. I stopped. Turning, I saw Maya with her suitcase, raising an iced Americano and a silent toast. I smiled. "Fancy meeting you here." She lifted her chin. "I had to pull a lot of strings to get on this project with you." "Come on, we don't have time to waste."